Hi Stampers, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. The card I'm going to show you how to make today was one that I made for a challenge, and it actually uses hand sanitizer to make your own gel water. As you can see, the water does move around. And it creates air bubbles even. And I colored this to a color to match my card. And today I'm going to show you how to do this, but we're going to use different colors so you can see how the different colors react with the hand sanitizer. So let's get started on all the supplies you need. And thanks to everybody that emailed me begging me to make a video on how to make this card. For stamp sets, I'm using the Seaside Shore. And I use the two of the fish images, the two shells, and this little dotted rope image. And I also ended up using the Ahoy There sentiment. For cardstock, we're going to be using Soft Sky, 11 inches by 4 1/4, and scored in the center at 5 1/2. By the Shore designer paper. And that's the same paper that I used on this card, just a different pattern. That measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And let me show you the beautiful patterns that this paper comes in. This has like the different ombre on it. You can see all the different patterns. And if I flip it over, there's even more patterns. Beautiful paper to work with. You're also going to need Very Vanilla, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Dapper Denim, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, same size. And for the window part, the cello bag that I used, I have one that measures 4 inches by 6 inches, and these are not Stampin' Up bags. I ordered them online. So you need the size that's going to, see, the Very Vanilla goes on the inside, and when you use this bag, it's actually covered by that. So that's why I'm using this size. For inks, we're using Dapper Denim and Soft Sky. And I've gone ahead and done the stamping ahead of time just to save time. As you can see, I stamped the two fish, one in each color. And then I have a small banner here that measures 1/2 inch by 3 5/8 inches. We're going to need glue dots, a plastic spoon, clear Wink of Stella, which you won't see me use in the video, but all I did with it is colored the fish and all of these items that I stamped. They're all colored with the clear Wink of Stella. I'm using the lid of one of our embellishment containers. You're also going to need Dapper Denim ink refill. And for my gel, I just used a size that I keep in my purse. It's a Purell, but any of the gels should work. And the oval framelits that I'm using today are from the new, I'll show you in the catalog, Layering Ovals Framelits dies. And they measure, this one measures a little over 2 1/2 inches wide. And this one measures a little over 2 1/4 inches wide. So let's get started on our project for today. Oh, and we're also going to need some of the gold thread, and I put mine on a spool, so we're going to use that a little bit later on. So first I'm going to show you how to cut the ovals. I'm going to start with the designer paper, and I'm going to glue that to the Dapper Denim layer. By the way, if you want to create this one, the colors that I used are Emerald, Envy, and Very Vanilla. So let's glue this layer to the Dapper Denim. And then I'm going to bring my Big Shot machine in. Let me just move my stuff over. And I am using the magnetic platform followed by a clear plate. So we're going to add this on. And I'm using the smaller of the ovals. And I'm kind of centering this so that these three sides are even. And this will cut through 2 layers. I'm going to go back and forth twice. Okay, so now you got 2 more layers here that you can use on another card. Now I'm going to bring in the Soft Sky card base. And glue this in place. Open this up. And now I'm going to place my oval back on top of the one that I already cut. Okay, so we now have an oval that's gone through all 3 layers. I'm going to flip this over. Actually, first I'm going to just line this up with a Dapper Denim, flip it over, and I'm going to use a pencil and trace the oval. And when I did this one, I actually cut it larger. As you can see there, you can see the difference, just so that it won't peek through on the other side of the card. You see the bubble on my gel, how it moves around. So anyway, now I'm going to center my pencil mark into the oval and cut that one out. So you now have this one, and when you flip it over, this one will sit inside and it's a little bit larger. And then you have, like I said, 4 ovals that you can use, save and use on other cards. Now let me move the Big Shot. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of mixing. I'm going to pour the gel. And I used, and it's going to be hard for you to see. Let me put a piece of paper under. I didn't quite fill the container. It's about 3/4 full. If you use more, it's going to be thicker, and I'm afraid that when you mail it, if it's too thick, it might cause problems. I'm going to start out with 1 drop of the Dapper Denim just to see how dark the gel will become. Whoops. Okay, and that, to me, this is enough gel. You don't want it too dark so you can see through it. Okay, let me put the ink away before I make another mess. And let me wipe this up. So have some tissues or baby wipes handy just in case. Now I'm going to bring in my cello bag. I'm trying to remember how I did this without making a mess. I made this card quite a while back. I think I brought in a cup, and then I just laid my bag in there, and then just carefully put all of this in the bag. And it's funny that you really don't need a lot because it lays flat on your card. I'm actually going to bring this back in and pour some more inside. I don't think there's enough there. So I'm going to give it another dab and then just mix it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now what I ended up doing is folding the bag. Now you can see what the blue looks like. It's pretty neat. I ended up folding the bag this way. Just going to make a small crease there. And I'm going to bring in some scissors. And just enough so that I leave about 1/2 inch. And you're going to bring in some tape to seal this so that it won't leak. And I'm going to bring it over to the other side. And you won't see this when you glue it to the back of your card. Okay, so this is all ready to go. You can see how it moves around there. So let's bring in the card. And this is not from the bag leaking. This is just from when I mixed it. So I'm going to add this like so. And add more tape around all 4 sides. It looks pretty messy on this side. Whoops, I did get some out there. I didn't seal that enough, but this will seal it. Okay, so you can't even tell from this side that there's a mess on the inside. So now what we're going to do is bring in the very vanilla, and see, that's going to go over and cover everything on the inside. Okay, so now all we have left is to add our pieces that I pre-stamped. I'm going to bring those in. And I did add stamping dimensionals to the strip. So I'm going to glue that first. And that's going to go right here. And for the fish, I didn't want to put them inside the gel because the color probably would have, the gel would have wore the color off, I think. So I didn't dare put that inside. So I'm just going to tuck those under the oval. Isn't that cute? It looks just like a little aquarium. And all I did was add liquid glue. Now I'm going to bring in the gold thread, and I'm just going to use 2 fingers and do 4 or 5 or 6 twirls around. Cut it off. And I'm going to use the glue dot and just press it onto the glue dot. And that's going to make all of your little circles. And then I'll just cut off the excess. And now when you peel the dot off, let me get my paper piercer. You can just place this right here. Press it in place. I've got one here that didn't glue down, so let me see if I can press that in place. And then I'm going to add another glue dot on top. I just got one here that's being stubborn. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to bring in the shells and the sentiment, and I'm just going to use the little skinny pieces on the end here because they are the perfect size. So all of these are going to be raised a little bit. Let's add the sentiment first. Put that right there. And then we'll add the 2 shells. And this one's going to cover that glue dot that we just put in. There we go. Now we've got 2 cards, and we used Dapper Denim for this gel color, and we used Emerald Envy for this one. So I hope you give this a try. You'll just have to experiment with whatever cello bag you use, and if you don't mix enough like I did the first time, just add some more in there and press the color so it'll color the whole thing. If you have any questions, make sure you message me on YouTube or send me an email. And if you need help ordering any of the supplies I used today, I'll have them listed at the end of my video, or you can contact me. Thanks so much for stopping by. Have a good day.